Hey, Ben from Lover of Tech here. Now, the iPhone XS Max has been one of my daily driver smartphones in constant use since release date in September 2018. Now, using it since then, like, how do I feel about this being the best phone Apple has to offer since 2018 into 2019? Has it been worth it from the get-go, or has the novelty just fallen off faster than I expected? Well, now, this is my review of the iPhone XS Max. Now, yes, off the bat, this is a great phone. There's no denying why iPhones in general have just become such a popular brand of smartphone in the market and in the industry. Well, you get more of that later. We'll explain and we'll talk about that. But I mean, for now, let's look at some of the things that I've not necessarily been so fond of and think Apple could have done better to make this a better phone and package altogether. First has got to be the headphone jack. Now, yes, this is more of a quick and honorable mention, but I have to mention it still. And in Apple's eyes, we know that it's dead. This 3.5mm port back in the day was killed off in the iPhone 7 Plus in 7 days. But hey, they've kept the same energy. It's not here on their current phone, so there's no surprise. But I still miss it, and I just wish it was something that was still there. Second has to be the base storage of 64 gigabytes. Now, that's what I've been rocking myself, and it served me okay enough. But at this price, what is commanding for you to pay, especially against the competition, I feel this is just a big letdown for sure. Yes, it's easy enough to say, oh, look, get the bigger storage model if that's the case. But really and truly, at this price point, something at that price point, they could have easily just offered a base model of 128 gigabytes from the get-go. And this truly makes me wish, Apple had their own proprietary method where they had expandable storage. This will give people great options, but I mean, this is what we have, base storage of 64 gigabytes and above. Now, third has to be the lack of fast charging cable and plug in the box. Now, I'm gonna plug my man Sean B. Nice's video skit in the link in the description below and the cards above, him talking about all the same issue. But where I'm coming from, honestly, for a premium product like this and a premium customer, getting this product and not offering fast charging out of the box and just the standard, like, you've got to spend an extra £75 for the total of getting the USB Type-C to lightning cable as well as the plug here. That's a big L. Like, Apple need to change this for the future for sure. Final few honorable mentions so I can just wrap this all up and get this out of my system. The display design and resolution. And as much as I applaud having the same thin bezels on the bottom, left and right of the screen, and yes, I do also understand that having the full housing for the Face ID hardware causing there to be a notch, yeah, I get it, I understand, but I still don't like it. Like, fine, tell me, get over it. It's not the end of the world. There's worse things. I know that, but it still takes away from having that completely cohesive display experience when you're viewing it and using the phone. So I just had to mention it, man. It's still something that bugs me. And yes, at 6.5 inches, this is Apple's biggest smartphone display in a phone. The OLED panel is amazing, but at this weird PPI of 458 and a resolution of 2688 by 1242, like, that's still not a true 1440p quad high definition display. And heck, this strange relationship with apps like YouTube still doesn't allow you to watch videos that are higher than 1080p resolution. So it's like the display experience is taken away by something that is just so good. And last, and I promise I'll leave it there, is definitely the camera protrusion. Please, 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 this camera protrusion, I don't know, man, it just needs to be removed. Now, some will say I've been brave and stupid enough not to rock a case with my iPhone XS Max. Let me know which one I am down in the comment section below, whether I'm brave or stupid or both. But I've not rocked a case with it, and without the case, the bump on the back, literally on a flat surface, is just unbalanced and it's rocking all over the place. It's almost like you're just trying to rock a crying baby to sleep. It just doesn't feel balanced and cohesive to the design of the phone that it should do. So the camera protrusion, not really too much of a fan, but hey, it is what it is. Now, there are many other things like the lack of customization to iOS, but that's just iOS in its true form and nature through and through. So I'll leave that alone for another time. Overall, that's just kind of the things that I just wanted to mention and put out there about the XS Max that I've just not necessarily been too fond of, I would say. Now that's out of my system, let's get to some of the good things that I like about the iPhone XS Max that overall just makes it a very good phone to use. First is definitely the smooth and consistent performance. This is what iOS is best known for, in-house hardware mixed with in-house software controlled to give you the best experience, working together to optimize. And it's something that you just see overall with the performance of the phone. And it's something that you get, and even against my previous iPhone X from last year, the difference in having an extra gigabytes of RAM at 4 gigabytes makes the world of a difference. Now I know the RAM and app management was more of a problem with iOS 11, but seriously, I could just appreciate the extra hardware and the optimization of iOS 12 with the new A12 Bionic chip at 7nm. It definitely speaks volume for the efficiency and things like battery standby time. Now we know Apple doesn't really show off the power of their hardware with full software customizability and access. They kind of do that more in things like gaming, AR, and also in their photo and their video performance, because this is where you really see the performance of the A12 Bionic chip. And you tend to see it with new HDR performance improvements that you've seen in photos, and it's just low-key one of the best improved photos for an iPhone in a long while. Yes, it's not perfect and it's subjective to what you think is good about it, but I think the improvements are great, and it's something that you see because even things like video performance, this is Apple's biggest strength. The A12 Bionic chip, it really flexes its muscle, and it takes off from what the A11 did last year, where you pretty much in 4K 60 frames a second ultra high definition and the normal 30 frames and 24 frames, it literally gives you unlimited recording to storage. And there's not many phones that have the capability to do this, and it's great. I want to see more of this in a premium product, and it definitely shows how powerful the video as well as the photo power is. So I have to admit, I low-key don't mind the package of what is in this phone when it comes to the camera overall. And also last, in addition to things like being able to change the background blur of your portrait mode shots, it near enough mimics the look of what you get from a full frame wide aperture lens, which is great. I like the control it gives, and again, like I said before, the package overall with the camera, I actually like it. I don't mind it at all. It kind of works great. Now I know I said before that I wasn't really fond of the display design and the resolution, but again, away from that, this is probably one of the best displays on a smartphone that you will find. The OLED panel is bright and vibrant, it's sharp, and it's a really good panel, and it really gets bright, and it's something I really enjoy using, especially with the addition of 3D touch. The touch response on the display with things like the default keyboard, it still makes this phone one of my favorite phones when it comes to typing experience, and the touchscreen itself is just on point. Yes, I wish obviously for a truly 120 Hz display, but if this is 120 Hz touch response is the next best thing on this iPhone XS Max, yeah, for sure, I will take it. Now, there's a few honorable mentions to wrap it up. Things like 3D touch is definitely something I still use on a regular basis for typos, correcting them, moving quickly through sentences to actually correct what I'm writing. Also peeking and popping into applications to get more options. The feedback's really nice. The Taptic engine is on point. Things like iOS guaranteeing yourself 4 to 5 years of updates on a premium iPhone, it just means that your product is gonna last for longer. Now also consider how durable the phone is. I'll be honest with you, even though there's a crack on the back, it took a long time for that to happen. I dropped the phone many times in bad situations and it survived. So I'm kind of almost inclined to believe that yes, it's still glass, put a case on it, don't be silly like me. This is probably one of the most durable glass I've seen on a smartphone, so it can withstand some drops, but again, I would still recommend use a case. The dual speakers work great, amongst many other things. Just wrapping it up, this phone overall is good, but in saying that, I can't help but feel like everything about this phone is something that should have and could have come out last year previous with the iPhone X, in the form of the iPhone X Plus or the iPhone X Max. But honestly, Apple being Apple with their strategic marketing, They waited this product out, they brought out the year after to make it feel like a truly new product. Yep, many people like myself, we bought into it, and honestly, no joke, a few days later, the novelty just wore off, because that's kind of the story of the iPhone in general, and it's no different for the iPhone XS Max. It felt very different last year, but this year it just feels like the bigger phone, and great, the bigger phone, but does it really justify the starting price of £1,099 for a 64GB model? I'm inclined to say no, but some people value that ecosystem. They value the exclusivity of iOS that you don't get with any other OEM, the exclusivity of things like AirDrop, iMessage, or FaceTime. And great, I get it. Is it enough for me to justify it? Again, I'm inclined to say no, but hey, each to their own. That's my review of the iPhone XS Max. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. And that about wraps it up for me. I'm your host Ben from the Lover of Tech channel, signing out, and we'll see you next time.